These creators making millions of dollars with one camera and a microphone sometimes, maybe an HDMI from their Xbox. It's wild.
Behind the broadcast, meaning this is about the community.
Now you're in the hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I mean, how has that growth been for you?
Man.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Signal Flow. I am your host, as always, Ben Thomas. And for today's conversation, we brought somebody back who was a pretty hot commodity last year. Parker Rattan, good to see you, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me back, man. It's awesome to be back here on the top floor in Dallas.
Look, man, I'll tell you, it's good to have you back. And for those who don't remember Parker runs Behind the Broadcast and has really the chance to kind of tour the world doing some of the things that most of us only dream of doing.
Yeah, so Behind the Broadcast is my business. It's my passion project. But what I do for as a career is I'm a freelance fiber technician. I work for Monday Night Football. I do the U.S. Open every year. I'm a part of a lot of the big installs for the biggest events that happen in the country.
You know, Parker, it's incredible to have you back on. I think it's good to sort of have a natural follow-up conversation on what we talked about last time. So our conversation in 2024 was a lot about breaking into the industry and how people can find their footing. Now I think it's really the kind of beyond that, the next step. How do we monetize that? How do we advance in our career? And I think that you're a great example of that. So I want to ask, what would you recommend kind of at a high level for people to pursue maybe once they've already got their feet wet in the industry?
Oh, man, I would just recommend being passionate about it and trusting yourself and trusting the process. Like anything, there's a long process that you have to go through. You have to start at the bottom to get to the top. There's no shortcuts in broadcast. You might know someone that can help you get to the next level, but I recommend, networking and building that very organically, because even the people that are put into the higher positions without the experience, it, number one, shows, and you might not have the respect from the other people.
It's interesting to watch that world evolve because I cut my teeth a lot in the world of broadcast and news and commentary and things like that. And that world has changed dramatically, right? And obviously that's coming to sports. We'll get to that in a minute. But talk about how sort of that broadcast world has almost been, I don't know, here's a better way to phrase it. Our generation really has found its way into the world of broadcast, right? We grew up with phones, computers, iPads, stuff like that. So that has left an impact, right? Whether that's through wireless cameras, whether that's through Apple using iPhones to broadcast MLB games. How have you seen a lot of that mobile-centric and wireless technology kind of find its way into the world of broadcast?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, our age group, I'm going to put you in my age group.
I'll allow it.
I'm in my 30s. I believe you're in your 30s as well. And you're right. We're in a really weird, I guess we're the millennials, right? And so we did see cell phones that were this big. We saw dial-up internet, which actually 4 days ago or 5 days ago now just went away. That was like the last time they could ever use dial-up internet. But, the advancements through internet and computers and all those different things, how the expansive progress of technology is unbelievable, especially just from being the time that I've been a part of broadcast. So I got into broadcast in 2011, right? So from 2011, that was like, I believe when fiber optics were kind of just starting to become a thing. Cameras were starting to come off of SMPTE cables. I don't even know if there was NDI yet or any IP stuff. I could be wrong. There probably was, but at a very technical, high advanced level. Compared to now, it's like every high school broadcast
right.
crew is running NDI. They're all like computer geniuses. They all know how to code. They all know how to source code, source IP. I think just that right there alone is just like the complete advancements of internet and the capabilities that it's now allowing for students and other people to get their hands on is unbelievable.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, you've seen that at shows like Infocom, obviously places like NAB, IBC as well, where the technology really has shifted almost more towards a creator-centric mentality, right? And in the AV side of things and the Infocom side of things, really more towards that corporate environment as well. But it's interesting to see that the technology really no longer is the superstar, right? It's the creatives, it's the ideation, it's the execution that allows people to sort of find their way into the industry. 08, 09, really you saw DSLRs that could shoot video take off, and a lot of people were really upset about that because they said, I'm this cinematographer and I've been doing it for 40 years and this is the only way to do it. And then you had these people who barely knew rule of thirds coming in and making these essentially major motion pictures. And it sort of upset the system. It reminds me a little bit of sort of the cycle that we're in right now. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, that is a great comparison. the technology for sure is now so widely used and so user-friendly that, like you said, everyone can kind of take advantage of that. But it is the creatives, it's the smart minds behind the technology that are able to utilize it in a way that they can advance whatever they are trying to do. Yeah, and you're seeing it everywhere. I mean, like with TVU and like the 5G like broadcasting capabilities. And there's so many different ways now, like to broadcast any type of signals. You don't have to go through a full broadcast center anymore. You have all these cloud-based programs that allow you to do so many things that you used to have like a whole newsroom, right? A whole newsroom to broadcast and insert graphics and insert a whole platform and things like that. And so the technology is really there. It's, who's going to take advantage of the technology and then continue to grow it.
You're right. Well, what it's also done is it's given a lot of different people opportunities for work, right? And I think when you think broadcast, a lot of people might think, hey, I've got to go be a fiber tech, I've got to go be a TD or a director or be in a truck. And as sort of the technology has expanded into a lot of different industries, folks like you could take those skill sets and bring it into an office like we're in right now, or bring it to an association or an organization or a company like a Verizon or an Intel to really tell those stories. I mean, those career paths didn't really exist 15 years ago.
Yeah, no, that's very true. I mean, I'm sure we're in a building right now, and I'm sure you have downstairs this amazing rack room with all these different servers. And that's really all it takes anymore. It's just like the servers and a nice air-conditioned room to like handle that infrastructure to do some impressive broadcasting things that 10 years ago, like I said, you had to have either a broadcast van maybe parked outside or something like that. And now it's just everything's cloud-based, everything's IP-based. It's pretty amazing.
Well, you talked a lot about high schools, and go to these high school stadiums in Texas, and their broadcast setups are better than many newsrooms, especially in the U.S. these days. But one of the places that I've loved to see in my own personal life is a team called the Savannah Bananas. And they, I don't know, they started, probably 8-9 years ago, I guess. There's sort of a whole story there. There's a lot of different places we can go, but they have done such a good job of kind of reaching people with the technology that they have. That started a long time ago with basically just cell phones and some cameras and stuff. Now they're streaming live to YouTube, they're streaming live on ESPN, but they still do it in a way that sort of jumps over maybe what people would define as traditional broadcast, because they don't have all the same RF techs and they don't have all the same operators that you guys might on a US Open or something like that. How do folks like that and organizations like that sort of do it?
So I am so beyond impressed with the Savannah Bananas. I'm a huge fan of them. A little secret, I just completed my first documentary on the Savannah Bananas. It's not out yet. It's about their broadcast team, and it's about their broadcast infrastructure. And so about 4 or 5 years ago, the Savannah Bananas, they were lucky to put 100 people in the crowd, and they were putting on a broadcast for those 100 people to watch on the Jumbotron. And they were using these old Blackmagic cameras and these old Blackmagic switchers, and with like zero capabilities, because this technology was built for the early 2000s. And like I said, now they're this massive phenomenon. And I was very fortunate to be able to catch them in the stage where they were moving from that old infrastructure to their brand new broadcast center. And so that goes along with what you were saying, is that they are now putting on these broadcasts for millions of people each night on YouTube. Now, that you said that 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you said YouTube, people would have lost their mind. But it is the truth. They're doing more views on YouTube rather than network television. And they've gotten now deals with ESPN, and they've done deals with True TV and a couple other big networks. But their bread and butter is YouTube. And they've really focused on, hey, let's go viral. Let's use our moments on social media. We're going to translate those moments from social media onto our YouTube channel. They've got 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube, billions of hours of watched on YouTube. It's just so impressive, and they do it in such a unique way. So all their stuff is remote. We call it REMI in broadcast. And so they're going on tour, right? They just finished their tour actually last week. They went to 16 different baseball stadiums. They sold out every single baseball stadium 40,000 people in it. They even sold out a couple football stadiums.
I think their waiting list, by the way, is like 3 million people.
Oh, yeah. It's like
I applied for tickets and couldn't get them here, and they were here for like 4 games.
Yeah. So it's like 3 million people just to get on the wait list to go to a Savannah Bananas game. That just shows you how popular they are. They're doing their entire broadcast out of their new broadcast facility in Savannah, Georgia. Rather than bringing trucks out on the road with them and all these different things, everything is back in Savannah. So number one, that helps with cost, right? Because now there are directors in the control room, their TDs in the control room, their graphics people are in the control room, replay in the control room, their main engineering hub is in the control room. And so really what they're doing, they're just bringing out camera chains out to these stadiums, setting up the camera chains. They've got a transmission fly pack, I believe, through Live View, and they transmit their show in Colorado back to Savannah. In Savannah, they do their thing, and that's how they either put it to the networks or they put it to YouTube.
That's sort of unbelievable to think about. You talk about rolling a truck out to a stadium like AT&T Stadium down here in Texas where the Cowboys play. That is not cheap, and I feel like that's a wild understatement. And then you have to worry a lot about SATCOM systems and then backups and redundancy, and then you've got to have all your RF stuff tuned. It's not a simple process, right? And I think that that's something that people don't have necessarily the exact right understanding of, but that's why it's such a big deal to see why people like the Bananas and even like Dude Perfect, right? Dude Perfect is a good example.
It's another one.
They've sort of jumped over this legacy, everything's got to be exactly how it's set up. Look, sometimes they forego things like Genlock and maybe some broadcast standards, but it works.
Yeah, no, it definitely works. And it's kind of what you're saying. So I work for Monday Night Football for ESPN. I'm at every Monday Night Football every week. And we travel 6 trucks, brand new Game Creek trucks. I don't even want to know what that budget was to get those trucks to put on a broadcast from every week from each NFL site. And so the fact that the Savannah Bananas aren't doing numbers that Monday Night Football are doing, and Monday Night Football is ESPN's bell cow, right? That's their biggest show. But the fact that the Savannah Bananas are doing these 9 camera shows, 13, 14 camera shows with tons of audio transmissions everywhere going through Dante systems or Hydras or things like that, it's a real testament to, I think, where the future is going. They're saving so much money by not having 5 Game Creek multi-million-dollar trucks on site, and the space and the infrastructure and the amount of staffing that it takes to staff all that. It's pretty impressive. And the Savannah Bananas, man, they're only getting bigger. They're about to expand from 4 teams in their Banana Ball League to 2 more teams, 6 teams. And they're making a whole league out of it. I'm just here for the ride.
Well, look, I think we all are. And it's been funny to see how folks like that have even inspired generation younger than that, right? You've got streamers and Twitch game players and all these different people. Now, granted, a lot of that existed before the Bananas, but that sort of style and workflow of broadcast has found its way into the world of live streaming, right? And you've got these creators making millions of dollars with one camera and a microphone sometimes, maybe an HDMI from their Xbox. And it's wild to see how the world has shifted like that.
So I'm a huge nerd when it comes to this stuff. And I love watching the advancements of streamers. Kai Cenat, IShowSpeed. These guys, there's millions of people live on their streams. And they're using, like you said, one camera and usually a TVU broadcast pack that is, bonded cellular, and it transmitted to their cloud, and that's how they're switching it. And it's unbelievable that there's 1.5 million people watching Kai Cenat run around his bedroom, and it's going off of a live view pack. It's a TVU pack. It's unbelievable.
It's funny because as technology gets more accessible, there's sort of been a refocus on the creative and the creator side, right? And you've seen this in shows like NAB, where it used to be a very, very technical show. There's still some of it, but it's a very creator-centric show now, right? Because everybody's got a phone in their pocket, and everybody has access to create and go live and do all these things that were previously unheard of. I'm curious how you've seen that sort of find its way into the world of the enterprise broadcast, right? Do you find yourself seeing a lot more remote contributions via cell phone? I mean, obviously on Pat McAfee and shows like that, they do it all the time. But is that something that you've seen even transcend into the enterprise world?
So I'm not full on in like the full enterprise world per se, like the commercial world, or is that kind of what you're saying?
Enterprise broadcast in this.
Yes, 100% enterprise broadcast. I mean, so you can now go down the sideline, and everyone's got some type of broadcast backpack, and it's the news channel. They've got one camera, and they're broadcasting live to their local news, and so they don't need that van that used to park out on the sat pad anymore. The sat pad's kind of a lonely place nowadays. It's literally just a backup area for the main broadcast.
Just open it up for tailgaters now.
They honestly should. They can make more money doing that. I guarantee you that. Make VIP parking out of it. I don't know. But yeah, the sat pad, it's a lonely place because we're not really transmitting through satellite anymore. It's just really there for a backup in case some fiber connectivity gets unplugged or cut somewhere in the country by a backhoe. I don't know, which happens.
It does happen. It happened in Dallas recently too. They cut a fiber line to the FAA control towers and the air traffic control towers. So look, there is a way for it to fail, but it's far more resilient than it used to be.
Oh, believe me, I traveled on that day. Monday Night Football was not happy with me because I had to push I was there a full day later than I needed to be because of the ATC mess up. I don't know. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare travel day. Don't bring that up. But yeah, it's just, so that is just a constant evolution where everything is going and will be going as well.
Yeah. Well, Parker, I want to ask about beyond the broadcast or behind the broadcast. It's on your shirt. I should know better at this point, but behind the broadcast really is something that you built really from the ground up as a way just to sort of show people behind the scenes, and now you're in the hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I mean, how has that growth been for you?
Man, it's a lot. There's no other way to say it than it's a lot. It used to be just this fun side hustle that I had going. Now it's becoming a full-time job on top of my other full-time job. But it's so much fun, and I really get to be able to put my own Parker into it, if that makes sense. And so that's what I really like about it, and it's really all about the community. Behind the Broadcast is not Parker's channel behind the broadcast. It's behind the broadcast, meaning this is about the community and how can we make the community better? How can we help knowledge share for the community? In the global aspect as well, like I would say 40% of my following is in the United States. So I do an average of 3 million to 6 million viewers a month on Behind the Broadcast. Now, of that number, 40% is U.S. based. The other 60% is completely worldwide, and so there's a large following in India. There's a large following in Indonesia. There's a large following in Germany. There's a large following in Switzerland. So there's these pockets around the world that are now able to see, oh, that's how a U.S. production is being done, because before they were never able to see that. And I think just the knowledge sharing of that alone is allowing people to do so much more with their broadcast.
Yeah. Well, Parker, I want to ask, too, as we sort of wrap, we talked careers last time and points of entry into the industry. Now that looks a little different from people. Some people come in from the YouTube influencer side. Some people come in from the technical volunteer side. Some people come in from the TV, film, radio side. But the career paths have changed dramatically even in the year since we've had our last conversation. What are some of the new career paths and opportunities that you're seeing open up for people as they explore a career in quote-unquote broadcast?
Yeah, well, I think quote-unquote broadcast is still pretty staying status quo. When it comes to like the larger broadcasts, you still have your director, you still have your TD, you still have your AD, you still have your graphics people. A lot of this stuff is moving remote, though. So there are people doing graphics from home. There are people doing remote replay and things like that. But just really to get into the industry still, you kind of really need to know someone, because it is a small and well-desired industry to be in. And so actually with Behind the Broadcast and my platform, I'm trying to change that for people. If you really want to be passionate, you really want to learn, you really want to get in the industry, then I want to try and help you and give you as many tools as I can for you to succeed in the industry. Like I said earlier, like you kind of still have to know someone to get you in, or you have to know someone to get a contact of a crewer or something, and the crewer can tie you into a pool of people that work locally, for your local city or whatever. I'm trying to help change that world, and hopefully, I succeed here shortly.
Well, yeah, I know you're doing a great job. I'll even add on top of that, right? People often ask me how to break into the industry, not just broadcast, but AV or the corporate world. I would say usually, especially for people who are maybe in middle school, high school, or even in college, go volunteer somewhere like a theater or a church or a place that even has just a small technical room, because you will learn a lot of the basic concepts that people expect you to know when getting into the industry. People don't want to have to teach you about rule of thirds. People don't want to have to teach you about basic composition and contrast and focus and how to fix back focus, right? Those are things that you need to worry about as you get into the industry professionally. And the more that you can kind of head some of that off earlier on in your career, whether that's through volunteer, whether that's through smaller paid gigs, the better.
Yeah, no, totally. And like we said in the very beginning of this interview, the advancements of technology is so broad, and it's allowing a lot of these students to learn NDI, IP, things like that, where I've got a friend, shout out Trevor, who, are you familiar with Melissa High School?
In Texas, yes.
In Texas, yeah. Melissa High School in Texas is one of the largest high school football stadiums in the state of Texas, which, just saying that, it's massive. Like, they have a 40-foot jumbo screen, and I went and toured their facility, and I was just mind blown. But Trevor is 27 maybe, and he's the head engineer for the all of Melissa. And I would put Trevor's knowledge and Trevor's experience and passion against a lot of engineers in the industry, especially engineers that are over the age of 40 that have just kind of been left behind in the whole new age of technology. And so, yeah, if you're a college student or you're someone out there right now and you want to get into the industry, find a local high school, find a local college, and just ask. Experience is key. The second you get experience, you have a head above everyone else trying to join.
Or you can just jump over all that and follow Behind the Broadcast on every social platform you can find.
Yeah, exactly. Behind the Broadcast is your best choice for sure to elevate yourself in the industry. It's always evolving. I think that's what I like so much about it. That's why I like being a fiber tech. I used to be a camera operator, right? And as a camera operator, I'm not knocking you camera operators, but it got very mundane to me and very just, again, status quo. Just you go, you sit on your camera. Yeah, it's fun during the game. You get to shoot live action. But I really liked the troubleshooting side of the broadcast. And that's why I do fiber tech today, because I'm in a new stadium every week. I'm trying to find, there's a new issue that arises every hour, and I'm always trying to find solutions for those issues. And then once all the solutions are completed and we're good, we're TD ready.
There you go.
And I'm probably on Behind the Broadcast, working on Behind the Broadcast. And so
actually get to watch a football game.
Yeah, or I get to watch a football game. So yeah, it's ever evolving, and you just kind of have to roll with the punches and learn the new technology as it comes, because the people that don't take the time to learn the new stuff, they're going to get left behind.
Parker, look, those are wise words, and we've got to have a part 3. I'll tell you this right now. But by the time we have the next one, I don't know. Everything may be AI. Who knows? That's a whole different conversation. We can't get into that can of worms today. There's too much there.
Actually, earlier
we go.
Earlier in the interview, no, I thought about bringing up AI, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it.
We're not there at scale yet. We might be by the next time we have this conversation. I don't know. It's a tricky conversation to have.
It definitely is. It hasn't really taken over broadcast either, like it has definitely the film industry. But there's definitely certain elements, like when they add new AI graphics and augmented reality and things like that are using Unreal Engine and stuff like that. That's all AI based, and the stuff the graphics rollouts and the different stat lines and things like that are coming out now are so cool to watch, and they're only upgrading the broadcast itself.
Agreed. By the way, plug, if you do get, this isn't Monday Night Football, so I can say this. If you watch on Thursday Night Football on Amazon, they have an all-22 view that has real-time AI analytics and statistics where it tells you the speed of the receiver and the ball, and it's pretty wild, some of the stuff that you can do from a graphics and real-time AI perspective. But I don't know. We'll put a pin in that. We'll figure it out next time. But Parker, I'll tell you what, man, I always love having you in studio. It's great to chat with you. I mean, so many people are loving the work that you're doing. So a big shout out from me, a big shout out from the folks at Avix as well. Loved having you on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. We'll do it again another time.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for tuning in as well. Be sure to check us out next time on the show.